the person.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
like this camera and I have had a very tumultuous relationship because I keep anyway, whatever. I was just like, work, you small tiny thing.
So you say y'all have been learning a ton.
Yeah, just about how, my sense is that actually, like, if I had it to do over again, I'd love to have more structured check-ins with you guys earlier, and actually just like make the process a little longer. And it's always a balance. You want to be respectful of people's time, but I also feel like so many people have been like, the research takes like a ton, and I think initially I wanted to like be kind of hands off so that people didn't feel like I was getting in their business. But I actually think most people are like, the deadlines are really helpful.
Yeah, that's
so
good. Yeah. I spent my first week here. I spent with the summer camp, and I was like, I should write this from a kid's perspective because then like all the gaps in my knowledge.
Right. Yeah.
Fine. Because I started to research it. I was like, oh, this could be like a 14 series podcast.
Right.
Like this is an hour-long documentary on PBS already.
Yeah.
So here it is. So do you want me to start reading or?
Well, it's up to you. I mean, we could read it, or we could just like walk and talk through the story.
I feel like reading it helps with the timing.
Right, let's do it.
And then what's the one thing, the timing and turns and like getting a sense of, should the character be like, hey, like the way I've been conceiving of this is, like you the user are in the car.
Okay.
Next to Abe, like you're like a mute cousin or something.
Yeah.
I actually, in the beginning, was writing a mute cousin character, and I was like, this is too much. And then you like get out the car, and now like Abe is kind of like
walking you
through.
Okay, then let's read it.
Okay, great. Cool. Leaving Levittown feels like letting the stale air out at the end of a breath-holding contest. Mom knows I hate Levittown and finds reasons for why we need to go back to the meadows most Sundays. Help another family move, pick the vegetables out of an overgrown garden someone had to leave behind, let an old neighbor borrow our car so they can drive around looking for the next place to live. Levittown is temporary, Mom says, and I hope that's true because the trees are only as tall and thick as baseball bats, and there are no streams, but everybody has a driveway. On the weekend, you can't hear anything but lawnmowers crawling across empty lawns. No one has a bramble fence, or a garden, or a fish gutting table, a blackberry bush, or a peach tree, or even a worn-down patch of dirt under a rope swing. The houses are all alone on islands of grass. No one shares a wall. The walls are all white. No red brick, no yellow wood windows or blue porches, just black roads, green lawns, and white houses. Levittown is temporary, Mom says, and so is living with Uncle Hirsch. When Uncle Hirsch came home from the war, some guy named G.I. Bill felt bad that my dad, Uncle Hirsch's brother, died and bought him a house. And this guy must have been rich because he bought Mom a house too. But we stayed in the meadows. Mom said we moved from a row home to the old farmhouse with a yard that backed up to the park. Mom had Dad buried in the yard and planted a tree instead of a headstone. And then it's just like the car slows. And then most Sundays, Mom drops me in the park and drives through what's left of the neighborhood. And then car door opens. Hey, meet me here at dark. And then the car drives away. And then like all of this birds and what are these, cicadas?
I think so, yeah.
And then my name is Abraham. Mom calls me Abe, and my friends from the meadows call me Nick. One day at recess in second grade, I was playing football with Strami and Ox. They scored and started making fun of me. White bread, you're too soft to stop us. After school, I went home and told my mom that some black kids were making fun of me, calling me white bread. My mom said, well, why don't you call me pumpernickel bread then? So the next day at recess, they're egging me on, white bread, wanna come play football? And then they started laughing. I said, shut up, pumpernickel bread. They looked at me like I looked at my grandma when she uses Yiddish words. Like I look at my grandma when she uses Yiddish words. We stood there for a few seconds, and Ox said, what's pumpernickel bread? And I noticed his fists were balled up, and the question sounded like a threat. And I said, it's bread that's black and tastes really good, and I can bring y'all a sandwich tomorrow so you can try it. Mom laughed while I made 3 pastrami sandwiches that night. The next day at lunch, Strami and Ox looked at me like they forgot who I was when I brought them each a pastrami on pumpernickel. Pumpernickel became Nickel, and Nickel became Nick. Rodney loved the sandwich so much he became Strami, and Ox has been Ox since kindergarten when he lifted a rock out the creek that was as big as him. And then, so this is like 30 seconds is a transition.
It's great.
Is that good?
Yeah, I think having space, because
Yeah.
just depending on people's walking
Yeah.
speed.
Yeah.
And some of this will be like, once we figure out exactly how the triggering works, it's possible if you wanted some of that to get broken up. So let's say somebody walks real slow,
Right.
and you wanted the like pumpernickel bread section to
Right.
like not be way too far back.
Excuse me.
We could always like break that gate up and put two
Okay.
pins in.
Yeah.
Because basically you can put them like every 20
Yeah.
feet if you want to.
Yeah. I mean, I feel just like if you want me to have opinions, I can form opinions about anything.
Yeah. And if you
But I don't.
yeah,
If I don't,
then I will totally make a choice.
great.
Okay. It's mostly just, you know, like if, it's, you know, everybody's got different
Yeah.
amounts of
Yeah.
control they want to
Yeah.
have.
I'm like the writing, great, but after that, I really. So this is it here.
Right.
So like, I don't. Yeah, I'm open. Like I feel like Strami could be like, come on this way.
Yeah. I
Um,
think it might be useful to like have one of the kids say like, hang a left, just so that it's in world,
Yeah. Have the kids say it.
or
Or
somebody.
have the ranger.
I'm like personally less interested in the ranger constantly interrupting.
Directing people. Okay.
I mean, I think what'll happen
Yeah.
is, if there's a way to work it into the story,
Yeah.
where it's like, hang a left up here or something,
Yeah.
if they do go that way, the ranger will be like, you're going the wrong way, back up.
Right. So I wonder if it's just like one time like Ox jumped over this bicycle sign. Or
Yeah.
something. But that's not enough to say, come with me.
I mean, so they'll be coming up this way,
Uh-huh.
and all we have to do is just get them not to keep going straight.
Or that way.
Yeah.
Or no, that's the maintenance area.
I mean, I can have the ranger come in if you want. If there's not a way, I don't want to like get in your writing business, but if
No,
there's,
if you have an idea, I'm totally down.
Like,
I'm
if there's-
totally down, yeah.
I mean, so in the world of the story, Abe is taking mute
Right.
cousin friend. I mean, what if it was just as simple as Abe just being like, when you get to the sign, hang a left and
Yeah.
take the curb, or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Just acknowledging that whoever's walking
Yeah.
like is in space.
Yeah. Great. That's fine with me. Or is it like, I guess because it's not precise enough that you can do like the binaural audio. And
Yeah.
You can be like, this way.
I mean, we can put it in the left ear,
Yeah.
but if somebody's looking over to
right.
their
You don't know
right,
what they're looking at and all
Yeah.
of that. Okay. Yeah.
or like curve around the sign, or like
Yeah.
there's an arrow there,
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Oh, but there's two arrows. That's confusing.
Oh, yeah. Hang a left. Hang a left. Go back towards where we came or something.